is Rees, and welcome to episode 30, at long last, of our Tekkit 2 Let's Play adventure. The long-fabled, long-promised episode. Is it as epic and incredible as I had hoped? Well, I like to think so, yes. Some of you may agree or disagree when all is said and done, but certainly a lot of work has been going on behind the scenes, and I cannot thank the channel members and supporters enough for sticking with me, watching, what has it been now, 5, I think, behind the scenes episodes and build logs, and continuing to support the channel and keep things afloat. So let's go ahead and give them a shout out before we get started. We've actually picked up a ton of new supporters on the channel since the last episode, so let's actually start with the newest. A big shout out to our fabled GSNL, the fabled Ryan Wilson, the fabled Gert the Golf 2, the mythic Gilliam, the fabled Meyer, the otherworldly Jake Yates, the fabled Maria Amor, the otherworldly Purple Lemon, and the legendary Lucas Kitts. Thank you all for your support, and I hope that you've all enjoyed watching the crazy behind-the-scenes videos. You kind of all know what to expect from this one, but for everyone else, hey, if you want to become a channel member, $2.99 a month at the base tier, check it out. Catch up on all the sort of behind-the-scenes build log videos, and if not, sit back, relax, maybe get yourself a drink, some popcorn, because we're going to go in deep today. I've got a lot to show you and talk about. I guess we need to start with what is right over here. I finally got into logistics pipes. I did it, and I'm going to be kind of walking you through. Let's not really call this a tutorial so much as a quick overview. I might do a proper guide once I know a bit more over on the Howdy Folks MC channel, which is where I make sort of more guide and tutorial-based Minecraft content, not really Let's Play content. But yeah, finally got into logistics pipes, and if you want to do the same, this is where you start. You start with your logistics power junction. You gotta have this because everything, even the pipes, have to have power with logistics pipes. It's crazy, it's insane, I don't know how I feel about it, but so far it's been pretty effective. What's funny is, we came darn near close to not even using logistics pipes. I was actually looking at a different pipe option. We can use pipes from Project Red Transportation, and I don't know, all things said and done, that might have been cheaper and easier, and it might be something that we go back to and look at in the future, just to get an idea for, I'm not sure, but I ended up going with logistics pipes, and if you want to do the same, don't let this recipe for the power junction fool you. It's not really complicated. Let's break it down. You got redstone and a block of redstone, iron. You know what to do there. Look at this basic chip. Don't even panic, all right? You get some copper and some sand and roughly that shape. It gives you 2 raw basic chips. Put that in anything that smelts and it'll give you the basic chip. Once you've got the basic chip, you need the logistics block frame. Look, that's just any type of plank, iron and redstone. From there, you get this and you plug it into power. So it accepts Minecraft Joules, it accepts RF, and it accepts EU. And one thing I will note is that you'll notice we have a low voltage transformer down here. Yeah, I tried plugging this thing directly into medium voltage and it blew up. It was unexpected. I didn't see that coming. So make sure you only feed it low voltage, which does limit the amount that you can pipe into it. So it's not a bad idea to supplement it with RF, or to just use RF. And I'll show you downstairs we're using RF, I think, for the majority of the power the machine is using, because you can pipe as much as that in there as you want and it won't blow up, or at least I've not managed to blow it up yet. But it does show you the conversion, and the conversion is 1 EU gives you 2 LP, so for every 1 you get 2. It's kind of the other direction with RF. 10 RF only gives you 5 LP, so that's not quite as good. And then 1 MJ gives you 5 LP, so if you can generate Minecraft Joules, that might be your way to go. But we're using RF and EU right now, and it seems to be working just fine. But this machine right here, I'm talking about a whole different machine in the basement. I'm getting ahead of myself. This one is only being powered off of this low-voltage transformer, and it's being connected up to the logistics program compiler. If you're going to do what I've done, this is the second thing you need to build. And again, the recipe is not complicated. It's literally the exact same recipe as the logistics power junction, except you're going to replace that block of redstone at the bottom with a bit of lapis. Now, once you have this, it's a bit tricky to get it powered. I was a little bit confused. You cannot place this directly next to this and get power. You have to use a basic logistics pipe. This is sort of your interaction pipe. Anytime you have power, either leaving a power junction or going into another machine, you're going to need one of these. Also, anytime you have 2 sets of pipes intersecting, you've got to have a basic logistics pipe. And the reason that matters is because most of my network is not made up of the basic pipes. They're made up mostly of the unrouted transport pipes. I think the names on these is a little bit confusing, because really this is what I would consider to be basic. I don't know what I would call the basic one in that situation, but this is your basic pipe. Well, no, it's not. That's so confusing, because there is a pipe called the basic pipe, but it's not the basic pipe. I guess this is your bog standard cheapest pipe you can make, is the unrouted transport pipe, all right? You're going to need to build that, and the recipe is simple. In order to get to this is your basic logistics pipe. Unrouted transport pipe and an FPGA. FPGA, don't be afraid. Gold, redstone, diamond, lapis, sand. Gives you 16 of these things. You just smelt them up, and then you combine them with the unrouted pipes, and you get the basic pipes. So the basic pipes are needed anytime you're taking power out of this and putting it into something else, like, let's say, a logistics program compiler. Also, anytime that you have unrouted pipes, so these common pipes, I guess, the cheap pipes, anytime you have those intersecting, you're going to need a basic logistics pipe. I'll show you more of that downstairs here in a minute, but if you wanted to have this further away from here, like let's say we moved this over to here for whatever reason, then you would need a basic pipe connected to this and a basic pipe connected to this, but then the pipes in between could be unrouted. Are you confused yet? Heaven knows I was. But once you get power flowing into here, and then you use your basic pipe to get power flowing into here, you thought it might get easier, didn't you? No, it gets more complicated. So I'm going to take my logistics disk out of there. And by the way, that's just redstone, iron, and gold nuggies. I'm going to put a brand new basic one in there and kind of show you where we start. So over here, you need to pick what you're going to be using this thing for. Or I guess not. I mean, you can load up all of these as far as I can tell. But, I mean, getting started, we just want basics, right? So just click on basics. Just trust me on this. Just click unlock, and you're going to be waiting. This is going to consume quite a bit of power, although it looks like we're maintaining just fine. So you can actually see when a machine is used, it shows you visually that power is being pulled through the adjacent basic logistics pipe. So what you're seeing right now is that represents power being pulled from here, but it also represents power being pulled into here, which is pretty cool. So while that's cooking, I'm going to show you the next thing you need, which is a logistics programmer. Now, the recipe for this looks complicated. Iron and gold is basic. Look, we already made FPGAs before, so you know how to do that. You've already built them, presumably. Advanced chip, similar to a basic chip. Build the two basic chips, we talked about that earlier, copper and sand. Add diamonds, that gives you these. Throw them in a smelter, you're good to go. And then the last thing's this blank module, which is just a gold nuggie, redstone, paper in between. It's not actually difficult to build, which is good because you're going to want multiples of them. I think the mod author intends you to use one. I do not advise that you use just one. I'll look at that, so it's done. So we now have all of the basic things that we can program right over here. So what you do is you take that logistics programmer you just made, you put it over here, and then let's say you want to build something along the lines of a... let me think. Actually, we don't want any of these. I don't know why I told you to do that. What you actually probably want to go to... Let's have a look inside of mine. Yeah. What you actually want to do is select chassis. And go ahead and unlock that one first. I apologize. It's great, isn't it? I was just, trust me, select the basic one. It's not what you want to select at all. I was wrong. That's not getting cut, though. That's staying in the video. That's how you know I'm a genuine guy. Because I'm genuinely dense sometimes. Okay. So as you can see, there's tons of things over here you need to choose from. Let's go ahead and go with item sync module. What you're going to do is with your logistics program over here, click compile. And that is going to load... I guess the programming into this thing, and then we're going to take that over and do some crafting with it. See, once you get to needing to build things like the logistics chassis MK1 and MK2, trust me, you're going to need these, item syncs and quicksort modules, you're going to notice all of them have something in common, right? I'm going to cycle through all of these. What do you see in common? If you said that they all need FPGAs, you're not entirely wrong. I mean, not really. This one doesn't, but it does need something that does need an FPGA. But no, what you're actually looking at is they all need a logistics programmer, but it doesn't consume the logistics programmer. If you look at the third line here, it says pipe program loaded, logistic chassis MK1. Yeah, so if we come over here to my industrial work table, and we clear this out, and let's say we want to create an item sync module. You see, it pulls in a logistics programmer, and I have one here with the item sync module loaded in. Yeah, because anytime you switch between these, this can only hold one program at a time. Meaning if you need to make item sync modules, and quicksort modules, and logistics chassis modules, you're going to need to take this thing out, take it over here, flash the different things you need into it. So, like, look, let's take that thing again. Okay, now we got to make an MK1. Let's click compile. And it takes about 10 seconds. So you're sitting here and you're waiting 10 seconds for this to finish processing. And then when it's done, you can take it out and you can go over and you can go to your crafting table. I've just got an industrial work table over here for the sake of example. But then you can go ahead and you can make yourself one of these. There we go. Oh, but now I actually need an MK2. So we're going to take our logistics programmer. We're going to take it back over here. I'm going to stick it in there. Oh, shoot. You know what I just realized is oh, shoot. I'm sorry. You've got to click compile, and that compiles it first. I'm so bad. That's why I'm saying this isn't a tutorial. This isn't a tutorial. All right, now that it's compiled, we can add that in there and click flash, and the flashing is much faster. And there we go. So now we've got that loaded with an MK1. We can come over here. We can make one of these. Okay, well now I need the logistics chassis MK2. I got to put this up here, and I got to reflash it. And then I can take it out, and I can come over here with it, and I can make the tier 2 one. There we go. Oh, but now I also need an item sync module. I gotta come back over here, and I gotta scroll down to the item sync module. I've already compiled it, so now I gotta click flash, and I can fly. You can see how this can get annoying after a while. So build yourself 4 or 5 of these things. Just save yourself the hassle and do it. And then while you're doing other things, just go ahead and compile these things in the background. Because once they're compiled, you only have to compile them once. So you can get like that one compiled, and then in the future, if you ever need it, it's already compiled. Also, go ahead, and as far as I can tell, there's no reason not to just go ahead and unlock all of these things. So just click unlock and just have it going in the background. But yeah, I've got 4 of these, or no, I've got 4 of these up here. So I've got an item sync, a quicksort, a logistics chassis MK1, and a logistics chassis MK2. You see me struggle to say that there for a second. I keep those just tucked away inside of here, so that if I need to build any of these objects quickly, I can. So let me kind of give you an idea of how I'm doing automation. And if you know anything about logistics pipes, and you see a way that I can improve this, please comment and let me know. Because I'm just kind of going off of what I figured out watching a tutorial video and reading the wiki, and I'm sure there's a better way. But if we want to move things from this chest to this chest, so in this case, we'll just throw that in there. That's a terrible example. We'll take that back out, actually. And then also, I'm swapping this out for the one that I already had. There we go. That one's already loaded with everything I wanted on it. So I'm going to go ahead and dispose of both of these right into this chest for temporary storage. And we're going to go ahead and take stone stairs, right? And we want to move those from there to there. Well, we're going to need a couple of things. First off, we are going to need these logistics chassis MK1s. And then between them, we can use unrouted transport pipes. So we're going to put one of these on each end. These are sort of the interactors. They're what interact with the chests. Connect them together. And now we want to tell this, first off, there's things in here, move them. And we want to tell this, hey, we want to put things in here. That was a strange way of phrasing both of those, but it comes out to this, right? You're going to need an item sync module, for which we will need to have some paper in there. See, it does recursive crafting, right? So I want this isn't a part of it. This is just an industrial work table. It makes things easier. So I need an item sync module, and I need a quicksort module. Not sure if these are the best ways of doing things, but here we go. Now, we can right-click the quicksort module over here, the chest that has the things that we want in it, quicksort module, and then the chest where we want to move the things, right? We're going to put that in there. But how do we configure them? Well, if you've built yourself a Buildcraft wrench, now is the time. You can't really do anything with the quicksort module, so we're not going to really worry about it. We're going to grab one of these, though, for the sake of reference. Come over here, right-click. There's an I next to the item sync. We're going to tell it, hey, import these, please, thank you. But nothing's going to happen. And nothing's going to happen because you see these red lines, these little red bars. That means that there's no power here. And it's not going to work if there's no power. So we need to get power over here. So we're extracting power from our power junction with a basic pipe, which means that now, in order to get that power over there, we can just use unrouted pipes. We don't have to use basic pipes. If we have a basic pipe already extracting power, we can go ahead and just use unrouted. So these aren't just used for carrying items, they're also used for carrying power. So we're going to plug that in, and any second now, hopefully we don't miss it. What we should see are these, oh, there they go, being moved over to there. And we can have it go again if we wanted to. We can move all of these over here, and it's probably going to happen. There it goes. Now, something else I wanted to note is, let's say instead of plugging that in there, we had it come around to here. Well, you see that? See how that turns red? That's because that's an intersection, and you cannot have unrouted transport pipes at an intersection. You have to have a basic pipe. So let's grab a basic pipe, and we're going to break this unrouted pipe, put in a basic pipe. The red bars go away. The system is operational again. So once more, we can do this. And the cool thing about this is it will never overflow in inventory. If the inventory is full, it won't send anymore. And that's the basics of it. So now you can kind of see what I've been playing with. Now, if you want to then have items extracted from there, you have to build another, a Tier 2 logistics chassis. And a Tier 2 logistics chassis has 2 places to put modules. So you can have an item sink, and you can also have a quick sort module. By the way, you might want to take these out. There you go, before you break these. I don't think they get stuck inside of them. I don't know. I think one disappeared earlier when I broke it that way. I might be wrong and just misplaced it. I have no idea. But we're going to go ahead and tidy all of this back up now that the demonstration is complete. There we go. So, now that you have a... now that you hopefully have a basic understanding of how this works, I understand that was the worst tutorial ever. And again, go youtube.com/@howdyfolksmc. We're going to be doing a guide. Let me kind of show you what we've done with it. And you might have seen it at the start of the video. So first off, we added a second teleporter here that takes us directly to the factory. And I kind of regret its placement. Now, if you're a channel member, you'll already know what happened here. This is where some of our earliest testing took place, and it's a little bit of a mess. Oh, you don't know what's down? Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. 5 episodes. You guys, if you're not a channel member, oh my gosh, you don't know what's down there. Oh my, okay, well, we'll come back to that. For right now, this is how we've taken those concepts and put them into work. This is what we have manufactured. This magnificent construct. The channel members, God bless them, they put up with what, around 5 hours of me just beating my head against marble walls trying to figure all of this out? Let me take you through it one step at a time. So first off, we have 3 tiers of item generation, of ex nihilo generation. I guess I can't really say that, because I suppose the conceit of this product from Project E is that it's using solar energy, although where it's getting it, I don't know, to generate... Are you getting solar energy? If I broke the block out from above you, would you be going faster? Because I feel like you're not going particularly fast. Have we discussed this in the past? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. This whole setup is now problematic. I've probably gotten comments about that. See, these aren't an issue, because they're all stacked on top of each other. It's only when you get to oh, boy. What about these? These are fine. It's just, okay, it's just the ones at the top that are butted up against marble that are having the issue. Well, that's fine, because this one's just producing glass, and we have way too much of it already anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Right, but for these here that are butted up against marble, we should probably fix that. I'd assume even this one. Yeah. That explains... This means nothing to any of you, I realize. But channel members watching right now are probably going, thank goodness he noticed. Thank goodness he figured it out. Yeah, I've figured it out. Yeah, trust me, I've now figured it out. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, there we go. Okay, see, that's... Yeah. So... folks, all right, let's forget all that. So I just rambled for 5 minutes and it was a mess. Episode 30 is a disaster. This is not the incredible episode 30 experience I was planning. I'm so sorry. I'm cutting all of that out. Let me just very clearly explain what's going on here. Really small items that don't need a lot of EMC, items that need more, items that need a lot. And it's just all about how many relays and energy collectors we could connect up to the condensers in these tight little spaces that I decided to work with. They're all hooked up to logistics chassis MK1s and then unrouted transport pipes, except for where there's intersections where we have basics, and all of that runs underground, where it then pops back up over here with auto crafters, some of them powered to make the crafting a little bit faster, some of them not, kind of just depending on the flow of items. Like right now, we're really struggling with rubber. I think we're gonna have to build a second centrifugal extractor. But here, you see, we've got sticky resin being dumped in. It's automatically being cooked up into rubber. And this is where earlier I was talking about having a chassis MK2. So if we go ahead and get this back out and we have a look inside of there, you'll see it's got the item sync module and it's collecting the sticky resin. And we saw where that's being generated right up there. But then it does also have the quick sort module, because the rubber that is produced is going to 2 different locations. Right now, it's primarily being dumped into here, but because we might need rubber in other places, I've also got it being transferred over to here. And therefore, we can get rubber to other places on the pipe network. And actually, you can see here, we've got a lot of things being generated, right? So, for example, we have a lot of copper cables. We've got 13,000 of them. How does that work? Well, we've got the raw ingredients of sticky resin, and that gets turned into rubber, and then that gets dumped over there, where it's also got, well, struck me sideways. I completely neglected to actually put an item sync module in there. No wonder we're having issues with rubber. All of the rubber that gets dumped in there is just staying there. There we go. Alright, so copper cables should be generating a little bit more quickly now. Look at us go. Good on us. Pats on the back all around. Look at them. They're just zooming at the moment. That's nice. So what we should see here is more copper cables, unless they're all being dumped further down the line here to where we are generating... yeah, here we go. This is where all the copper cables are going to end up. Being turned into electronic circuits, which, oh my gosh, it's such a mess. I don't know how I thought I could just simply explain all of this. Basically, raw materials are getting processed and being run through auto workbenches. This is all things you've seen before. You've seen these machines, you've seen these auto workbenches. The part that is new is basically the automation. And what is it all being used for, folks? What is it all being used to generate? Well, let's go down the line, right? So this is making rubber. This is crafting rubber and raw copper into copper cables. This is grinding up blocks of coal that are being generated into coal dust, and the blocks of coal are being generated right over there. This machine is taking iron that's being generated right up top there, and it is cooking it into refined iron, and it looks like we might be having trouble getting iron moved over here consistently. But is that a cause of not being able to generate enough iron, or is that a cause of... So there you go, there's 40 right there. That could be a problem with the pipe network not being as efficient as it could be. Because I'm pretty sure we're not, like, out of iron ingots. Oh, no, we are! We're just not generating iron fast enough. That's something we'll have to address in the future. That's turning it into refined iron. And then over here, we're taking refined iron and we're turning it into machine blocks. And then over here, we're turning refined iron, copper cable, and redstone into electronic circuits. And then over here, we're turning tin, redstone, and the copper cables into re-batteries. And then over here, we're combining furnaces, you saw that being generated earlier, as well as the re-batteries and the machine blocks into generators. And then over here, we're turning that into solar panels. That's right, folks, we did it! We automated solar panels. They're just being generated now. I don't have to do anything, and they're being generated really consistently. You can just see it happen right now. Look how smooth that is, and boop. I got a little bit ahead of it. I was a little bit off sync there, but you see what I mean. And then here, look at this. We're taking copper and wood that's being generated, combining it with copper cables to build LV transformers. And then we're taking the solar panels we're generating and the LV transformers we're generating, and we're building low voltage solar arrays. Folks, how many of those do we have now? 64. No, we've got 116 low voltage solar panels. I don't have to do anything. I can leave, and this just keeps going. This is amazing. This is what Tekkit is all about. And we're not done yet, because today's episode, we're going to be turning those low voltage solar panels, those low voltage arrays, we're going to be turning those. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this stuff. We're going to be turning those into medium voltage solar panels. And not a day too soon, because if we have a little hop down here into the basement, this is all going to be new for you folks. So, first off, you can see we've got a mix of, at the corner, well, this one's not important, but at the junctions, basic logistics pipes and then otherwise unrouted pipes, carrying all of the items around. We do have a run of HV flux cables prepared to plug into the auto workbenches to make them work faster, although we're not doing that right now for most things. It is plugged into the cables, obviously, to generate cables quickly, but most other things, we're just not generating for instance, we're not generating refined iron quick enough to keep up with. If we were to speed this up, this would just be depleted way too quickly, and then there wouldn't be enough refined iron to be piped down here for making these, so not everything is getting a speed boost right now. We've also got glass fiber cables going to MFEs, which are powering the machines up top. All of that is coming from this mess over here, and this is my secret shame. Folks, I have had so much trouble powering all of this right now with our nuclear reactor alone. We've had to build 25 generators, maybe more. I think this is a row of 20 generators, although I might be wrong. This could be more now that I'm looking at it. I know that there's 5 more elsewhere. But I've had to build all of these generators to keep this topped up. And the reason is, first off, we have high voltage coming here from the generator, from the nuclear power, right? So that gets stepped down here in the MV transformer into an MFE, and then also each machine has its own MFE, just in case. Then we also have a low voltage transformer going not to one, but 2 power junctions. Because it turns out when you have this many transport pipes, it requires a ton of energy. It is insane the amount of power it requires to keep all of these running. It's maddening the amount of power we've got running through all of these. I don't even know how to process it myself, if I'm honest with you. But this one is being plugged in directly to the EU, and then this one, in order to keep it running, you'll notice it's got EU and it's got RF running into it. So you can see it doesn't actually stay topped off. It starts to drain every so often, and then it has to catch back up. But power's been a pain, which is why I'm excited to get the medium voltage solar panels built up. Now, if you're wondering about this hallway, this is not the only hallway. First off, you'll be familiar with what's at the end of this hallway if we hang a right. This down here has been here for some time now. This is the power that runs to the automation for building plastic. And we've basically just widened that tunnel out. It's going in a few different directions, right? It goes that way. It basically creates a big circle over to here, where folks, you remember that big battery we built? Well, we built a bigger one. This is quite a larger battery, and we're having trouble filling it up. It's not going too well. Look, we've got 2 of these big electric flux generators. These things are pretty cool, actually. So the big electric... I can't remember if we covered this. Yeah, we covered this in a proper episode once. These take EU and convert them into RF. And, I mean, as you can see here, we were talking about power problems earlier. We're not generating enough power across the whole of the network to even keep this MFSU filled up. And it's the most direct path for power here. This is now outputting... I don't know how much it's actually taking in, but it's outputting 1,275 RF, and the vast majority of that is going towards trying to keep those cables powered up, because my gosh, it consumes so much power. It's out of control over there. It's actually a bit of a nightmare. Let me show you this! Let me show you what I had to do over here. We weren't getting all of the power out of this. We were limited to how much power we were withdrawing from the reactor because of the MFSU. So I had to add another MFSU and then hook them together so that we would get a proper amount of energy out of here. I think it should be 1080 if I'm not mistaken. Just there's about, yeah, 1023, 1023, close to 1080. So the only way we would actually get up to that 1080 is if we added yet another MFSU, which I'm not opposed to at this point. We might have to. But, yeah, we need to get solar power up soon. We need to fill the world with the medium arrays so that we can start producing power without having a bunch of generators full of... I don't even think I mentioned that. The generators. What are they running off of? Well, if we have a... Man, this place is getting more confusing than Hogwarts Castle. I would love to see someone who's just trying to negotiate this place. If you've been watching the YouTube videos, do you think you could successfully negotiate this this place? These are full of Aeternalis fuel blocks. These are expensive, but they burn for a long time, so I don't have to worry about them. Look, you see what I mean? It's starting to drop now. It's because I teleported around a bit. When you teleport around a bit, the MFSUs have to fill back up with energy. So if we have a look at them, they're topped off now again. So hopefully that down there is charging up. But any slight disruption to power causes all kinds of issues. See, this one's empty, and this one's just never gonna fill up. Because there's just constantly flowing energy all over the place. Right. What I was saying, though, is if you feel like you've missed out on the automation train, don't worry. Because today, we're gonna be automating the generation of medium voltage solar arrays. And we're gonna be doing that together. So we need to build MV transformers, and we need to build medium voltage solar panels. In order to build this, we're going to have to build this first, right? So in order just to build this contraption, the actual one of these, we're going to need 3 auto workbenches. And I'm going to need to clear out some more space over here. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so I've added a little bit more room. Let's head upstairs, and I'm going to walk you through this so that you can see exactly what goes into this. If you feel like you've missed out on anything by not seeing me set up that whole mess, trust me, you're about to get the full experience, just sweet and condensed, and with me being a little bit less confused compared to normal. So, we tidy things up here. I have built a void chest as well. This is interesting because I haven't actually got it to work yet. But if we look at the recipe for the void chest, it's just a matter of surrounding obsidian, like around a void powder, which we've built before. We've used void powder many times in the past. I looked up on the wiki, and apparently it'll only empty when it's halfway full. I don't know if we have anything else we want to throw away. I don't really need cobblestone stairs. What if I lined it out, right? Like, instead of having them in stacks, what if I did this? Okay, well, what is the point of that? Whatever. I mean, I don't really care. I guess it's useful if you accidentally throw something away, but still, that's a bit silly. But there's the void chest, everyone. Hope you enjoy it. I guess first things first, let's build some auto crafting tables. These are also things we've built in the past, and we've used them a number of times. We've got some somewhere doing something right now. I don't remember where off the top of my head, but we've built them before, and we're going to need 3 of those. So, stone gears, you know, really basic. Wooden gears surrounded by cobblestone. It's just sticks for the wooden gear. And then if you don't know how to build a crafting table at this point, I got news for you. This isn't the right series for you. Paul Soares Jr. did a series on Minecraft in 2009 that I recommend you check out. He'll get you covered. But that's going to be our auto workbenches. And then we're going to want to make sure that we have a number of other things ready to go right out the gate. So, first off, quick sort modules, as well as item sinks. Now you'll notice that these aren't stacking, and that's because one of these is currently programmed from previously, and I'm going to have to plug it into something to unprogram it. We have some MK1 chassis, but that's almost entirely useless to us. What we need is MK4s, and off the top of my head, I saw that we did have 4 of them right up here. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 1 for each of these. Probably 3 more. I'm going to add these in here, because it uses them as part of this recipe. And we're going to go ahead and say get 8 of them, because that's more than I think we need, and it's always good to be a little bit prepared. We're going to grab some more basic cables, because those are really useful. Maybe 8 of those. And then I think I've got plenty already of the even more so basic unrouted cables. And also I forgot that I had 5 of these up here, so we're going to take all of that out. And then the wrench is here. So I'm pretty sure this is everything we're going to need to get this going. So let's head back downstairs and let me kind of show you how this works, okay? We're going to go ahead and start by bringing our cable around. Well, no, you know what? Let's set up the auto workbenches first. So in this case, we're going to have 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. You don't really have to set them up in this order. This is just the way I'm doing it. First thing, we need to make these cables, and we're going to go with this recipe here because it's the most basic. If we wanted to use either of these recipes, we'd have to have a auto work table first creating gold cable or gold insulated cable, and then have another one doing this. That's confusing. We've already got rubber being manufactured. Speaking of, I do want to see how that's doing now that we've actually got it being extracted from here. So it is being extracted faster than it's being produced. We're going to need to build a second centrifugal extractor, methinks. That, or we can just... Oh, look, that's interesting. So now copper is the slowdown over here. Methinks I'll have to move copper to a tier 3 generator, but that's not relevant right now. We've got gold being generated, and we do have the... we have rubber being generated. So we're actually going to need a sampling of both of those. So I'll go ahead and grab that now, as well as a sampling of the gold. Just grab a bit of that now. Anyway, like I was saying before I got distracted, this is going to be the recipe that we use because it just uses one raw ingredient, one cooked ingredient, and we don't have to have a whole bunch of preceding auto work tables, auto crafting tables, whatever these things are called, auto workbenches. It should just go straight to this, right? From there, we're going to go to the MV transformer. That's going to use machine blocks. We've already got those being built further up the line. And then the 2x insulated gold cables, well, those are being generated right next door. So we'll have that recipe like that. And then we got to combine it all together with the low voltage panels, the medium voltage transformer, and that's going to be that recipe. We do not need to have a space on the wall over here to hold all of those. That's entirely an unnecessary thing that I just like to do, because I like the concept that someday there'll be so much excess it'll actually start to fill up these black holes. But, I mean, it's probably not going to happen. Although this is starting to fill up. Look, we got 359 LV transformers. So it could happen. So we're going to go ahead and grab more black hole units. I keep some stored over here. And they're not stacking. That's wonderful. 1, 2, 3. And we will need item frames. You don't need item frames. I use item frames just to denote what is in them at a glance. I find it to be helpful. So we'll come back to that after we get these up and running. For right now, let's head underground. And because this is already a basic pipe, we can go from that with our unrouted pipes over to here. And we know that this right here will be a junction, so we're going to skip it and continue with unrouted pipes. And we have a suspicion that someday this will be a junction, so we're going to skip it as well. I'm going to put unrouted pipes here, as well as here. And then we will come back through with basic pipes at the junctions. So one there, and one right there. And now that's all hooked in. So now we got to get back up top. And I have a ladder tucked away right here, specifically for doing such a thing. And we'll zoom back over here, where now we will continue with another basic pipe up top, because this is going to be a junction, and this will someday as well. And then from there, we can use our... Ooh, actually, we want to use our logistics chassis MK2s to go into the auto workbenches. So we'll set those up. And now we want to set up the input. So I'm going to go ahead and take this item sync here. This might be one that was previously configured, so I want to adjust it real quick before it starts pulling in anything. No, so that one was not previously configured. So this is going to be for manufacturing the golden cables. So rubber and gold is the reference here. So I'm going to put a gold block up here. It doesn't actually hold on to it, and also that's an ingot, not a block. Same with the rubber. And now the network knows, hey, we want those items. So if we're very patient and we wait just a second, it should pull those items in. And it would not surprise me if adding these 3 work tables... Look at that. Boom! It's filling up with rubber. It'll start filling up with gold next. Remember, the gold is further away, and also might not be configured to extract. I didn't think to check before we started this. So remember, over here where the gold is, look, it's not even set up yet. How embarrassing. Well, I do have a basic pipe there, so I can go ahead and add an unrouted transport pipe. And then, because we only ever extract from these, we don't ever put things back into them, we can use, if we had one, a logistics chassis MK1. But you might remember earlier, I said we weren't going to need any of those, and I didn't bring any. So now I have to go back and get one. Like an absolute boob. There are, fortunately, a couple waiting for me in here, so it's not that big of an issue, but still, embarrassing. Right, though. Now we plug that in, and we add a quick sort module, and that should start extracting gold and sending it down the line to right here, where it'll begin the process of generating big, beautiful gold cables. It's just a matter of being patient and continuing to speak while we wait. There we go, and the gold to make its way. So we could speed this process up by feeding power into the bottom of the auto workbench, but we're not going to, because it might go so fast that we can't actually keep up with the amount of rubber and gold that it needs. But there we go, it's now generating cables, but you'll notice it's not automatically extracting them. And that's because we haven't added a quick sync module, or a quick sort module, I should say, to this logistics chassis MK2. What we want to do is, I actually want to have gold cables stored over here. I'm going to go ahead and place one in the frame. And then we're also going to go ahead and get an MK2. And the reason we're using an MK2 here is because we want to be able to deposit and extract from here. So right click, say, hey, I've got an item sync module. Do not do that with stairs. See, that's the one we were using previously. Do import the double insulated gold cable. And then, because we want to extract from here and go to the next assembly as well, we're going to add a quick sort module, so it'll have both input and output. Again, I'm not sure if this is the best way of doing it. There may be better modules for this task. I don't know. Now, nothing's going to happen right now over here, because we didn't add a quick sort module down below. So, did we run out of those already? Man, I really underestimated how much we would need to get this going. I'm back, and it's time to get the cables out of here. Look at that, we've almost got a full stack of them. So we're going to take a quick sort module, right-click it in there, and now it should be able to recognize, hey, I've got pipes, or I've got cables. There they go. Out they go, over to here. We're going to see this happen in real time. Here they come, baby. One of these is going to be them. Not that one, not that. This one, though. I can actually see them inside of there. Boom! 64 cables. And I've had a bug with the black hole unit, where once it's got 64 of an item, for whatever reason it won't accept more, unless you manually take them out and put them back in, and you see now we're up to 68. I don't know what that bug's all about. But that's sort of the idea. You should kind of get it now. We'll demo it again over here, because over here we're going to do pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to get my wrench out, and we want a quick sort module. We want this to bring in these cables, as well as... hopefully we've got some inside of here. Where would that be at? Right here. Yep, machine blocks. Was that one that was... no, I don't think that was doing the thing. The thing where it was broken slightly. Alright. Also, please import machine blocks. And now, those should start getting imported, along with... there's our gold cables. And that'll start making MV transformers, if we're patient. But... for right now, I'm going to go ahead and assume, yeah, look, there we go, it's working. So we'll drop one of those in there, and then we'll come back over here, and we'll throw it down. You can see this is all rather repetitive now, can't you? Hopefully you can see now that it's, boy howdy, is it repetitive. Okay, so we've got our item sync. We actually need, though, a reference from here. So if you wouldn't mind, I'll take one of those and bring it back over to here, where we'll say, hey, store those here for me, would you? And then also, just so we kind of know what's in there, we'll place one down below. We could also use signs, but I think visually it's much more interesting, isn't it? A wall of items sticking out. I kind of like that. But there that goes. That's being stored in there now. We've got 2 of them. And so the final step in the operation here is to actually manufacture these. I can't believe we're already there. I can't believe we're actually doing this. It seems like such a faraway dream previously. The idea that we would be automatically crafting medium voltage solar panels. Remember that time we made, what was it, 8 medium voltage solar panels manually? Do you remember how long that took? Do you remember how long we were at that? This is where we're going to store those, by the way. So, I'm going to go ahead and come over here and add these, even though we don't need them just yet. Man, I do need one of these for reference, so if you don't mind, thank you. And I will need one of these for reference also, so thank you. Look at the 133 of them. Isn't that crazy? Oh, what a good time. Right. You import these and import these. And then export them when you're done over to here. We've got to wait until we actually have one, though, is the only issue. So, oh yeah, this is empty now. So we're going to throw that in there, and that's empty now, too, because they're being dumped into here. This is the moment. We're all here together for this moment to see the creation of the very first medium voltage solar panel, everyone. We did it! Our first hands-off, automated, no-touch, medium voltage solar panel. There's our second one already. How crazy is that? Of course, it's going to slow down once we burn through our available supply of the MV transformers, but still, it's a sight to behold, isn't it? Oh, I might actually keep up with it. Right. Need one of these for reference. Thank you. Actually, I'll go ahead and just take all of them. No reason to leave them in there. Meanwhile, down here, we will have this automatically collect them, and then we're going to waste one of them just to have a picture of it, which is absurd. There you go. Medium voltage solar panels. It's working. It's all working. One thing I'm curious about, though, is whether or not it is all working. Because right around here... Okay, that one's staying topped off. That one's staying topped off. That's staying topped off. We're okay for now. But only for now. Because I am positive that in the near future, we will start to run out of power again. But this is what we've been working towards. If you've been wondering, geez, Rees, it's taken a long time to get episode 30. What have you been doing? This isn't actually how I envisioned it in my mind. Channel members will know we started out over here, and when I first started planning this, there was no wall of basic resources. It was kind of just machine to machine to machine is how I thought we would end up doing it. And I kind of expected to have this whole square filled up with various things doing various tasks. It wouldn't have been as efficient, and I don't think it would have been as nice to look at. Because this is that, while it's not beautiful, and there's definitely tweaks that need to be made, like, for instance, not having solid blocks on top of our collectors. Channel members, you know what's coming in the next episode. But, yeah. I think that this is good. I'm happy with this. How many of these do we have so far? 12. We've got 12 now. Each of those will produce 64, so about 6.5 times what these generators are producing, and we've got 14 of them. So, well, a single generator. A single generator is 10 RU. EU per tick. Goodness gracious me, speaking is difficult sometimes. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good. Where are we going to put them, though? That's the question. Where are we going to... I kind of just want to watch it go again. So what have we run out of? Oh, we've run out of the low volt. Of course, that's what we would run out of. We're going to have a supply of MV transformers and not enough low voltage solar arrays, because those, I mean, it takes quite a bit to generate those, doesn't it? The holdback on that is going to be solar panels. And the solar panels, I think, are generated right here. And the holdback on that, we could speed these up. We could generate them much more quickly. The issue is, I'm pretty sure the electronic circuits, because electronic circuits are being generated right here, and they require a lot of copper cable, and the copper cable is, I think, the first thing that's being generated. Yeah, right here, and that is being sped up, but you can see the issue right now is copper. Just not generating enough of it. If we moved it over here, it would probably generate a lot more. In fact, let's just do that. There's no reason to talk about it. We can literally just come over here and do it. So, generate copper, please. And then slap that on there. Add one of these to the front. Add one of these between these two. That should already be a basic. Yep. It should just go. Oh! After we add the quicksort module. So there we go. And of course, the reason copper is being produced so quickly right now is because these are always producing energy and always dumping it into here. So there's a lot of excess, like, power. But, oh, the reason that these don't hook up to a black hole storage unit and go directly from the energy condenser is because they generate so quickly, you can't actually extract them fast enough using just a hopper. What we've talked about in the members-only episodes is sticking the black hole units kind of behind here so that we do still have a storage of them, because as you can see, they're going to fill this thing up. This is going to be filled with them. and then it's going to stop producing, and I'd rather have like a black hole unit to hold the excess, but that should speed up our output here quite substantially. So our output of cables is picking up. But now, you see we're running out of rubber. We cannot produce rubber fast enough. I'm thinking a second centrifugal extractor in sort of this general area is going to be required. Or we could put it above it. Actually, that would be kind of sick. How would we get power to it, though? Because all the power comes from the bottom. We'd have to run power out from like, behind it or something, and that would just look ugly. So maybe right here. Although right there is probably some other snake mess of wires. There's a lot more work to be done to tidy this all up and get it as efficient as possible. But, I mean, with hopefully... I mean, look, yeah, see... we actually ran out for a second, not because we were out of these, but because we weren't transferring them in fast enough. How about that? But yeah, the further down this line you go, kind of the slower things get, because eventually you get to here where we're just very slowly waiting on low voltage solar panels. And that's okay. Efficiency needs to and will be made, but for now, we do have 16 medium voltage solar panels that we did nothing to produce. That just happened while we weren't doing anything. How cool is that? Of course, the question needs to be asked of whether or not it's worth it to even put those down, when it is always dark and raining. It is literally always dark and raining, and we need to figure that out. Probably gonna need to go talk to them, because there's been a lot of Endermen popping up around my base. I keep ignoring them and telling them to go away. But it's probably something to do with them. I'm just assuming. Or maybe them, or maybe them. But something is causing an endless rain, and we've got to put a stop to that next, before we progress with getting infinite solar energy. And maybe like a solar power plant built out on the peninsula here. How cool would that be? Until then, though, folks, is that a spider jockey? No, it's just a spider and a skeleton hanging out together. That's cute. And that's episode 30, everyone, and I've got to be honest with you, it wasn't what I had planned. I'd hoped this episode would be this sort of massive, monumental, like, whoa, look at what we're doing now. But having recorded it, I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool that passively, in the background, we're just generating medium voltage solar panels. Like, that is cool. I'm not going to pretend like it isn't. I'm going to go ahead and get one of them. I want to go test and see what it does in the rain. Wow, that was some fun lag spikes there. I don't know, I just, in my head, it was going to be this big epic thing that was going to make the wait worth it. You know, it's been, what, over a month since the last Tekkit episode? And I was like, this has got to be good. It's got to blow folks' socks off. It's going to be massive. I kept, like, putting it off and doing additional things just so when we came back it would be incredible, and it's just kind of not right now. But fortunately, there won't be as big a gap between this episode and the next one. Alright, so in the middle of the rain, if we have, say, an MFE, and we've got a medium voltage solar panel slapped down on top of it, and we actually configure the MFE facing in the correct direction with the handy-dandy precision wrench here. I'm not about to be attacked, am I? Yeah, that's not doing anything. It's not doing anything because it's raining. It's not going to do anything. It's got no sunlight. And there's nothing we can do about that. We've got to get rid of the rain! That's part of what's putting a downer on this whole ending. Like, oh, cool, wow, we've got all this... I mean, it does not like artificial light. It knows better as well. It knows better. Folks, next time we're going to figure out why it won't stop raining. And hopefully that won't be 3 months from now. So thank you all for continuing to watch. And even though we are getting close to a year, hopefully you folks are still enjoying the series. Thank you for finally breaking MFE. Tuck those away inside of here for now, as well as the rest of this unused gubbins. Till next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless each and every single one of you. I'll see you later. Goodbye!